Hello, today we are going to discuss a question that I get asked literally hundreds of times a week. And this is the time of year that parents, as well as student athletes, begin to get inundated with emails, also the snail mail, things that come to your student athlete's attention, make the heart race a little bit. But are they real? What's the story behind all the emails, camp invites, showcase invites, etc.? First, want to ask you to do me one very, very big favor, and that is I am trying to match or get to 10,000 subscribers. I'm about 3,500 away. So if you can hit that subscribe button, if you can hit the notification button, it would really help me with regard to growing the channel. Spread the word. Tell your friends, tell some of the teammates and the families that you interact with. Go ahead and subscribe because the content obviously is free. And we are going to be adding college programs from all across the country. This week, we're talking with Stanford and Miami and Rutgers and Hofstra. We're really looking to grow. We're going to talk with Vanderbilt, academic advisor and counselor. So these are the types of topics that we're going to be bringing you as we go forward. And I'm doing my best to make this a full-time effort in order to find and get access to those people that will make a difference for your student athlete. Okay, the topic is getting invites. I'm getting invites to camps. I'm getting invites to showcases. I'm getting invites by teams to try out. And then the sticky one with the area code and congratulations, you've been invited to the top 500 workout and it costs $1,700. Now, I want to first preface everything by saying I've been doing this as a college coach, as a dad, really as a dad since 1990, but as a college coach and high school coach for a decade prior to that. And I want you to understand I've seen this whole process begin and I've seen it transform and I'm beginning to see it turn another corner. How do these people get your email address? How do they get your phone number? How are you getting these text messages? Well, the inner workings to this really begin now. Perfect Game as an entity is now getting to 8-year-olds. And as you, as a parent, you're obviously excited and you're anticipating all the great events that your student athlete is going to participate in. So you go ahead and you put in your name and your address and your email address and your cell phone number. And then it begins to track you and they find out what events you're going to. And there's little check marks. The more events you attend, the more emails and invites you receive. The more money you're spending, the bigger the events you get invited to. Let's talk about the inner workings of the business. What is the driving force behind these entities like Perfect Game and PBR and Future Series? What's the common thread? The common thread is they sell your information, they provide it to coaches, programs, they provide it to equipment manufacturers. They're building a database. And that information is something that can be purchased. That's number one. Number two, and the most important one, these companies know that you as a parent have dreams, wants, goals, desires. They know that you want your student athlete to attain the game's highest level, to stand in a major league stadium or to stand in a big time college program. And they sell and they eat at your dream and they get into your pockets through your heart, through your desire to be that parent. And I want to tell you, I've been there, I've lived it. I've been on the opposite end of the emails inviting you to the big time college camps and the big time national showcases and workouts and the travel teams that try to get you to be on their number one team and try out and pay. All of these fees now in today's landscape, they've run their course. And I want parents to understand that athletes are what make the engine go. The engine is not these companies and these recruiting services. My gosh, if you've listened to any of the college coaches broadcasts, they're all talking to a man about the dirty, the underbelly of the ranking services and all of the entitlement that student athletes begin to feel because somebody out there has ranked your student athlete. But what we don't understand is the weight of expectations begins the minute your student athlete gets ranked. I have to be 4 for 4. I have to strike everybody out. I shouldn't lose a game. I shouldn't hit less than 400 because somebody told me I was the best. The weight of expectation, the source of income for these companies. We have to understand that the natural progression, forget about Perfect Game and PBR and all these other ancillary type of companies. If somebody invites you, congratulations, you've been invited to a top 200 workout at school X. It only costs you 15 to 1700. For what? The other part of this is if your student athlete has a significant desire to attend a specific college or university during their freshman or sophomore year and they're looking to learn about that specific university, absolutely attend their camp. But for the average high school age baseball player or those that are on the cusp coming from middle school to high school, the facts, the stone cold facts are that less than 3% of high school athletes are going to Division I baseball. That's one. Two, less than 10%. So 9 out of 10 high school athletes will not participate at the collegiate level. So if we're going to spend as parents all of this money, if you're looking at it similar to a trip to Disney, where it's about moments and memories and fun and the experience, okay, that's great. But if we're looking at this as a means to an end, a pathway to the golden ticket, the Willy Wonka golden ticket to Major League Baseball and to college Division I greatness, it is probably, it's possible, but it's not probable. Youth athletics are meant to be a part of a student athlete's childhood. There should be no expectation for 7 through 13-year-olds about college baseball or varsity rosters. It should be about playing, participating, having fun, learning the game, learning to love the game, and then moving to those next levels. So when you're getting these emails and these letters in the snail mail, give pause. What's the end game? Inevitably, the end game is a business entity behind the invites, behind the emails, behind the letters and the fancy smancy brochures. I'm not trying to be negative, no. I'm not trying to bring an industry down. I'm not trying to tell you your sons and daughters should not participate within travel. I can tell you definitively when I'm talking to college coaches, and I talk to a lot every week, they all say the rankings, they're irrelevant. The rankings, they're dragging athletes down. It's ruining the core foundation of what student athletes used to always be about, which was for the betterment of the team, the we versus the me. These events at Perfect Game that want to rank 8-year-olds through 13 and 14 and up to 18 years of age, they're really, really making the foundations of youth sports crumble. They want your dollars. It's a perennial business. When the 18-year-old graduates and leaves, the 8-year-old below enters and begins that 10-year process, 9-year process. Look for people that can provide you guidance. Look for people that have been through the process. Try to find someone in your community that's played at the collegiate level. Why is the transfer portal now becoming so inundated with one and done players? High school All-Americans, from conferences all over the country, 5 innings pitched, no at-bats, they're redshirted. high school All-Americans transferring, going to different schools. It's not just the lower end of the spectrum of athlete trying to go from the lower program to the higher program. The elite programs are losing players. The mid-majors are losing players. Division III losing players because I have to be at a better program. I have to be in a high profile environment. I have to have a higher social media profile. Doesn't work that way. When your athlete reaches the end of the road, whether that's at the high school level or the college level, what will they have learned? What's the takeaway? That if I don't get my own way, I'm going to go find somebody that will tell me what I want to hear. Lastly, recruiting services. I can't emphasize this enough. They prey on parents because they see a video in the scripting of the social media videos that get blown around and thrown around and retweeted and reposted. The amount of money that these organizations want you to pay that are owned by Perfect Game, NCSA, IMG, the proliferation of post-grad academies that are nothing more than baseball schools so that you can go and be a great baseball player. But, oh, by the way, your academics, your transcripts, you're going to run into technical difficulties there. Why are these academies popping up? They get a bigger dollar for a shorter period of time. Bigger dollar, less headaches. The realities are what they are. Parents, understand that your information is bought and sold. It's collected. It's put into a nice, tidy box. It's sold to an equipment manufacturer. It's sold to a recruiting agency. It's sold to all of these different entities want a piece of your student athlete's kind of life for the next 8 to 10 years. They want to put a saddle and they want to ride the biggest stallions all the way to the end. They want to put their thumbprints on the student athletes. Now, I know this because I've lived this. I have lived this. I continue to live this. And they all want their piece of your student athlete's pie. If this is a topic you'd like to discuss more, ask the questions below. I'll make sure that I answer them. If you look on my YouTube channel, if somebody has a respectable question, I answer it. If you're looking to engage and go to the other side, we can do that privately. It has no place or on a forum such as YouTube or social media such as Twitter. Please follow the channel. Let me help you, guide you, give you my thoughts, my opinions, but let me share with you access to college coaches, access to what they're thinking, what they're doing. I've had college coaches tell me they're doing a complete 180. They're going back to being the mentor of men. They're not trying to make everybody happy so that they have to re-recruit them year in and year out. There is a change. There are people going back to American Legion. There are people going back to Little League and Babe Ruth. And the reason is the old model of travel baseball is crumbling. It's crumbling. Doesn't mean it's going to go away, but it's crumbling. Are there good travel organizations that focus on development? Yes. But in the same breath, are there travel organizations that have hundreds and hundreds of student athletes within their franchise program? They preach that they're men of faith. They preach that they want the best thing for your son. Meanwhile, they're ordering bottle services at strip clubs. That's the facts. If I ever wanted to write a tell-all book, it would expose a lot of people. That's not my intent. My intent is to help parents understand your children, your student athletes have one 10-year period between 8 and 18 to live their life, learn about life, have great experience, moments, memories, and then they have something to utilize as the foundation to become spouses, parents, members of the community, business community, etc. Let's look at the bigger picture. We need to start focusing on the 90% that will never play in college. What's their carrot? What's their end game? Do we have to spend tens of thousands of dollars in order for them to have some kind of enjoyable experience? I don't believe so. Finally, the best app for you as a parent that's completely free is the Baseball Blue Book. Why? Because it provides you information and, most importantly, access. You can hear the college coaches. You can hear the youth coaches. You can hear the high school coaches. Stay up to date with all of the latest trends. Press a button, you can send your son or daughter's information to any college that your son or daughter has a sincere interest in. You can look up the cost, you can look up the academic, you can look up the campus size, you can look up the community, all of that information. You can download what type of incoming classes they have, how many, what's their retention rate, what's their graduation rates, all of that within an app that's completely free. Baseball Blue Book app. I'm very passionate about this topic. I hope you understand. It's a little bit lengthy, but I really would love any feedback that you have. Please share with me down below. And I look forward to hearing from you and sharing with you in order to help you have a better and more enjoyable experience within youth baseball, softball, all of youth sports. Thank you.